Hey everybody, welcome back to another news roundup. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. Sorry for the lack of content lately. It's been fairly busy with the holidays and just some other things. So excuse me if there's just been some lack of content. Excuse me if my voice seems a little scratchy. It's just because I just got back from the ocean and probably I'm picking up on a cold if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, but we got a bite-sized news roundup for this week. So without further ado, let's just cut this short and let's dive right on in. So the major story for this week obviously comes off with the release of Moana 2, and generally with talking about the Thanksgiving weekend, as it was actually a historic weekend because it became the highest grossing for the holiday Thanksgiving ever in history. It beat out the 2018, I think, which was the original holder of that title, which I believe then it was like something like 300 million, but now with this year it collected 400 plus million domestically. And specifically talking about Moana 2, it dominated pretty well, collecting so far a massive global debut of $386.3 million. With those numbers, it officially is pitted as the highest grossing Thanksgiving release of all time. And to put it in perspective, with a global debut of 386.3 million, in relation to its investments, which getting in specifics, we have production costs, which were 150 according to a couple of sources here and there. And some of this information is a bit vague because a lot of the major sources have not confirmed this information. Just some sources here and there outside of Variety, Hollywood, Deadline, your usual suspects, but credible sources nonetheless. But yeah, 150 appears to be the number, and according to the actual stuff that I listened to, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, marketing costs are around 120 million. So we have an investment in total of roughly $270 million, which means that this film needs to break even is at least $810 million. So for a global debut of 386, those are fairly strong numbers, especially considering its budget and its marketing expenses. So it's off to a strong start, and I think that's going to maintain it. I still stand by my thought on this that this specific film I think is going to ride throughout the rest of the year to be the most popular of the offerings this holiday season. Because, the next competitors, that being of Mufasa and Sonic 3, which we'll be discussing more of Sonic in a second, but I don't think those are going to pose much of a threat, little, if any, to really what I think is going to amount to a big success in the vein of Moana 2. So I think this is destined to do great. And, for an opening, it's pretty solid. It beat out Super Mario Brothers. It beat out the two Frozen films. So it's got an audience, and I think that's going to translate very much so into its second weekend. So yeah, so it's got strong legs, and it's great to see another large success story coming out from this year because there's been only a few, and Moana 2 appears to be one of those few. So, all right, moving on from that, speaking still in the vein of marketing and investments, let's get into Wicked. So, if you guys saw my last video, we talked about this briefly, but I wanted to get into it more specifically. Wicked came out last week, and also Gladiator 2 did, and they opened fairly enough. At the time, we knew only specifics, so with knowing certain information, I was like, okay, those numbers are not as bad. They're okay, but according to Deadline, they had confirmed the marketing expenses in promotion for Wicked, and according to them, it is in total as a cost for marketing expense $350 million. I'm going to say it again. $350 million. This makes it the most amount of money ever spent for promoting a theatrical release in Hollywood ever. It's the most ever spent. Now, coming right before this article was released, there was an article released from Variety that also discussed the marketing expenses for Wicked. They're reporting a lot lower number. So their number is actually 150. So someone's lying. So I don't know what's going on there. You got two reputable sources saying two completely different things. So I don't know what's up with that. Now, when you go look at the Variety article, they also have an interview that's attached to their article. And in the article, the whoever was leading the marketing expenses there for Wicked, they said outright that they're not going to disclose any numbers. So, you know, so, but let's get into some other specifics here regarding to the numbers. So let's just believe for a second that Deadline's numbers are correct, which I'm believing more so they are. Wicked so far, with coming off this weekend, has collected $359.2 million. That's its total gross so far. Now, production cost we do know is $150. So let's now consider the idea that the marketing cost is $350. You're looking at an investment right now, just for Wicked as it is, the first film, $500 million. $500 million has been spent on Wicked. So to break even, and remember, my rule of thumb is if it's a triple digit, it has to do triple the amount. In the case of this, we're just talking 500 million. So its break even point is $1.5 billion. Now, let's consider for a second Variety's numbers. So same, idea, production cost 150. Now they're reporting for marketing costs be 150. So they're saying that the production costs and the marketing costs are the exact same. I doubt that. I really doubt that. Just reading that, saying that out loud, I really doubt that. But let's just live in a hypothetical for a second that, oh yeah, that's the same exact cost, right? So that would obviously put it at 300 million in terms of investment, and obviously times that by 3, you're looking at 900 million. So roughly $1 billion that it has to do still, in order to break even. Now, remember, this is a 2-film deal. Remember that. Remember, they greenlit 2 films. So production cost overall for 2 movies is $300 million. So let's remember that also. So considering the idea that marketing expenses right now are $350 million, right? $350 million. You have total as an investment right now, as of right now, $650 million fucking dollars. So, putting that all in perspective, I'm gonna pull out my calculator real quick. If we do 650 times 3, we are looking at a grand total of $1.95 billion so far for what the break-even point is as an entire investment for both movies. So nearly $2 billion we're looking at. Okay. And just in case you're wondering, if we're just considering just the 150 that's on the table right now for marketing expenses, not the 350 that's put out there, that makes the investment $450 million so far. Just for the entire package for both movies and the marketing and consideration. So it's 450. So 450 times 3, you have $1.35 billion. So a little bit lesser, but still we're hitting large numbers in terms of a break-even point. And again, that's not even the final number. So just remember that. That's not the final number. because we have to consider the marketing for the second film yet, which has yet to happen. So that number is going to get bigger. So to illustrate, basically, regardless of what numbers you want to believe, this film has to do really well. So it has to do at least $1 billion. It has to. Um, so yeah. So let's just first address the elephant in the room. Of course, this whole like what information is true and what isn't. I believe it's Variety who's adding the discrepancy, because my guess is that I think that the studio may have intercepted one of these articles. That's just a little conspiracy theory going on, but it smells like it, It smells like the studio just kind of intercepted one of these articles and then just Deadline did what they did. Um, because if the marketing expenses were more healthy to what Variety is reporting, the studio would dispute the claims made by Deadline, because that would be outrageous numbers if that was the case. But they haven't done that. At least is what I've read. They haven't denied that. So I'm more inclined to believe Deadline, because of the fact that the studio has yet to dispute those claims. So, but I'm hoping that Variety is telling the fucking truth, because I mean, this is, as I said before, like, this is dirty, dirty fucking money being spent here. Dirty fucking money. Like, my initial trepidations on the chances for success have just been completely subverted. Absolutely, completely subverted. Because there really is no chance. Because remember, we're now in the second weekend, and the second weekend should prove to do, if you got yourself a real blockbuster here, it would probably do as well as it did the second weekend, with a little drop off. So far it's done $359.2 million. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm speaking hyperbole when I say that this will not make its money back. I have doubts that this is going to be $1 billion thing. I think at best this is probably going to end up doing 600, 700 million. That's my guess. That's my guess from where it's ultimately going to end up. But there's really, in my book, no chances that this is going to be a legitimate return on investment. It's honest, and it's really disgusting seeing the expenses on marketing alone. $350 million as a media value, aka that's how much they spent. Like, that's oh, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe also I'm literally reading the article wrong. Maybe you guys can explain it to me, because that is insane. That is insane. Like, because to me it reads that someone's lying, and I'm surprised that a lot of other people are not bringing it up and not talking about it, because, okay, let's just say for a minute again that if it's not true, or if I'm just not reading it correctly, still, marketing costs being 150, that's still a lot. That's still a lot of fucking money being put up. And again, you're still pitting the film to where it has to reach billions, I mean, if Deadpool and Wolverine showed us anything, it's how to manage marketing throughout the months leading up to it, so it doesn't balloon to extreme heights. I mean, yeah, of course, it ended up, as a general investment, costing $300 million once you tack on the marketing cost. But, their promotion was both strong and up front, and everybody, also, you're running with a notable IP, so you're going to get more legitimate sales outside of something like Wicked, which is just a notable stage play, which doesn't have an established audience outside of theater kids. So the standard for marketing, like I said in the video, the standard for marketing should be to commit an amount that's cheaper than your production cost, at least a fourth or half if you want to go any higher. Like, to commit to this extent, again, with the idea of it being $350 million, to literally double in comparison to the cost of production. It's complete lunacy. It's really stupid. And in that respect, it would absolutely fail. And I think it just as it is, I just don't think we're seeing $1 billion story on our hands. I think that it's the only reason that people are even bringing Wicked up at this moment is because of just, oh my God, look how great of a Thanksgiving weekend it turned out to be. But that's just because of all those films collectively, what they did together. But that doesn't mean that each individual film is profiting or is leading a strong, a strong race, or making genuine grosses and money. I mean, look at Gladiator 2 also. Gladiator 2 is not doing well either. I mean, if I check real quick, because I have the number here. Yeah, it's only made 320 million, and as a general investment, it's 350. And we talked about that, where that also has to do at least $1 billion. So, yeah, I mean, it's not good. Regardless of what numbers you want to believe, it's just not good. I'm more inclined to believe Deadline because, like I said, the studio has not denied it. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to fail. I mean, I wish I could say that it has chances. I originally thought it had chances, but now considering how much marketing is on the table, whether it being 150 or 350, it's still too damn high. So, yeah. So the Glicked thing, as some people want to say, it definitely did not take off. So, I think you guys can stop saying that now. Because, yeah, this is not great. These are not, this just, it's really kind of gobsmacking to see how much is being put up, if it is true. If you guys have more information, let me know. But just as it is, that's just insane. In fucking insane. And just dirty fucking money being spent. So. Alrighty, we have two trailers to discuss for today, and then we are going to call it a day. So let's get into it. So the first one we're going to talk about briefly is the final trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I would not talk about this, but my brother forced me to watch it. Of course, coming out December 20th, with Mufasa also coming out the same day. And, I mean, it's more or less the same. I mean, this trailer specifically, I gotta say, whoever cut the trailer, I mean, they're trying to go for the grand scope, like, oh, isn't this so big? Oh, it's like it's the big final battle, sort of thing. Like as if we've been building up to this, but it's like this is the first time we're introducing Shadow. It's like, like they really want to present scope and threats in an incredibly unfitting environment. Because I mean, this series to me has always been B tier, So to act like it's an A tier, it's more parody and kind of mocking in a sense. Um, then yeah, I don't know. I don't get much of anything from this. I mean, except honestly, a more apparent lack in quality. Um, Hopefully that half baked charisma that's there is still present, because it usually gives it more merit to where it can sit within the ranking of mediocrity. But as it stands, from what I'm seeing, it's just not doing much for me. Just really not doing much for me. So, but we'll see what happens on December 20th. It's coming out pretty soon. So, and finally, we're going to talk about the unofficially released trailer for Snow White. So I would not be talking about this because it's not officially released by Disney, but there's some interesting discussions to be had with this. So, of course, Snow White remake happening, of course, with Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, being directed by Mark Webb, who gave us Amazing Spider-Man and 500 Days of Summer. has a release date for March 21st, 2025, so not too far from now. There is an official trailer that is out. Now, apparently, it has been released by foreign outlets that are associated by Disney, but Disney themselves formerly have not released the trailer. So apparently, the trailer did play in theaters. According to some people who went to see Wicked, apparently this trailer did play during those screenings. It didn't play during Moana 2, weirdly enough. You would think that they would play it during Moana 2, but I didn't see it there. Um, so it is a thing, and it's not like one of those like secret, things that were shot during like a test screening process or whatever like that. No, it's an actual trailer. The file is uploaded. It's out there now. There's an HD video of it now where you can see it in full quality. Um, but Disney has yet to actually release the trailer themselves, even though it's apparently been put in theaters and is being released through other channels that are not theirs, that but are still Disney related. Like, it's all that's there, but Disney themselves has yet to release the trailer. So, um, just talking about that purely for a second, because we've talked about the whole controversy thing briefly the last time we talked about the Snow White stuff. I find it to be, um, with the production as a whole, especially just how people have, talked about Rachel Zegler for the past couple of months. I just feel like it's highly unwarranted, if you're just asking me. Because speaking purely of the trailer, because, there's been a lot of discourse surrounding the film itself. If we're just speaking purely on the trailer, I think objectively speaking, it looks pretty mediocre. Like, there's nothing in it that infuriates me, nor anything that fascinates me. I mean, Ziegler herself appears harmless. She's got a fair singing voice, but it's aesthetically questionable. I think that they're definitely the CG or just the framing of it definitely provokes uh, confusion and doubt, especially Gal Gadot's look. Oh my, it's just Gal Gadot's look looks so bad. Like, if you a lot of you guys want to like talk about Rachel Zegler's look, but none of you want to get on Gal Gadot's look. I will. It's just, ugh, just looks bad. Like, it's not really the fault of the costume. I think it's just the fault of her because she just can't wear it well. So, um, and narratively, it just really is lacking in much appeal for me. Like, generally, it's not doing much for me. So, you know, that's just how I feel about it. But I seriously don't see where all this hate that's been collected over the past year, I don't see where it's coming from. I will agree that hiding this trailer, because let's be frank, they're hiding the trailer, because like it's in theaters, it's put on other channels. Why isn't Disney putting it out themselves? Yeah, they're hiding it, obviously. I think, and they're hiding it mainly because of just the volume that was social media with the first trailer and with a lot of the images that were out there about this film. It provided a lot of, online backlash that actually got them to delay the film. Which, when that happened, I said that was ridiculous. I don't think that, online chatter should dictate a financial decision like this. I think that's ridiculous. So, for them to be here again, having to bend the knee for online community and to now be hiding their marketing, it shows an extreme lack of confidence in their product and an apparent fear of the online community. Like, it's very pathetic, in my opinion, to allow the online community such authority on promoting your product and to be dictating a lot about said product itself. A lot of the conversations that being had with it, a lot of the promotions, anything that can be surrounding this film, all is at this point just controversy, and that's sad. I mean, that's really, really sad in my opinion. And like, even if I dislike something, I don't care for someone to like validate my claim. Like, I I know from my point of view what sucks and what doesn't. So, I just think that a lot of this chatter that's happening online, I think is just very just toxic, and frankly, it's just also a bit annoying because it's just like, guys, it's a movie. I mean, we're getting all fed up because of a film here, you know, like it's also pathetic to see how people online are making it so difficult again for them to promote this thing. But in the same breath, how stupid it is for the company to allow them to dictate and control their marketing efforts. Like, as it is, it's really nothing that special. Like, I don't see anything to get genuinely mad about, nor anything to get genuinely excited about. It's just super, super mediocre. And for us to get so upset about such mediocrity, I just find the whole thing to be such a mood thing, at least to me anyway. So, like, I see the conversations, and if we're gonna talk politically, because there's been also political stuff associated with this, I can agree, broadly speaking, what's being discussed. But in the vein of this film, I just don't really care. It's Disney. What do you expect at this point? Really, if we're gonna get politically, what do you expect them to do? This is just how they roll at this point. I don't like it any more than most people do, it seems. But I just say no and move on. Like, I think that creating such a conversation out of this, I think is just needless and really just a waste of time. So, I don't know. It's just a lot of just, like I said, just a lot of waste of time. And I think that you guys should just really just relax on this whole thing. So, but yeah, as a trailer, it didn't really do anything for me. I don't care. I never have cared for live action adaptations from Disney. And just frankly, I would crave better new and original material. So, yeah. Ziegler looks fine. I think you guys should just stop getting on her ass for looking a certain way. It's like, but yeah, it looks okay. It looks just really just okay. And I find it just fascinating that we're getting so passionate over something that just looks so okay. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts for this week, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, little bite-sized thoughts for today. So you guys know your thoughts on the box office regarding just Thanksgiving weekend. Any thoughts on any of the films that came out there? Your thoughts on Wicked's crazy-ass marketing cost. Sonic 3, the new trailer. And, of course, Snow White's, the unofficial trailer. I really am curious when they're going to release that, if it's even going to come out at all. So, and apologies if you're hearing noises in the background also. My brother's just getting ready for bed, so apologies for that. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.